Hey, I'm Chris.
And I'm Kendall.
And we're Bike Gearheads.
We have a really exciting product launch for you from Yeti Bicycles.
It's the new SB135. This bike has a lot of similarities to the previous SB140. The SB140 is now a 29/29 offering, covering that mid-travel trail assault bike for Yeti. And they had a hole in their lineup, and they filled it with this new 27.5 front and back Yeti SB135.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool concept. I think it fits more of a niche audience when compared to the full 29 140. But I think there's definitely a really playful spirit to this bike that can be appreciated.
Not a lot of brands are offering a full 27.5 at this price point. Some are at a lower end price point for maybe a more beginner level rider. But this thing is transmission, full carbon, factory suspension, and a pretty unique offering that will compete with the highest end of bikes. So yeah, what do you think this bike is for, and where does it fit into their lineup?
Yeah, I think it's a cool offering. I think it would be an interesting choice for maybe like a smaller rider, someone who's a little bit shorter, shorter than 5'6", 5'7", maybe. And then on the other side of the spectrum, if there's someone who's just really committed to the small wheels, I think it's a good option too for like that playful, jump-oriented rider.
What do you think the main differences are between this and your classic mid-travel trail bike that is a 29 offering right now?
Yeah, I think it's cool to compare this bike to the SB140, which is now full 29 only. I think the key differences are just going to be rider preference, right? Someone who maybe you're coming from an older bike and you like the 27.5 wheels and you want to stick with it, or if you're smaller like we talked about, or if you're just really playful, I think those are the reasons that you're going to go for a bike like this. And with a 29-inch wheel, you're just going to have more rolling efficiency, better roll-over capabilities for those steps, off-camber routes, rock ledges, things like that. That might be a little bit more agreeable to the majority, but I think this is a really cool niche offering that is going to work super well for some people. The other thing too is that it does come in an extra small, which I think when you pair these size wheels with an extra small is a really, really great offering to have in the lineup. Really sets the brand up to have a bike for every single person.
In classic Yeti fashion, they have a regular SB135. They also have a lunch ride option, which is what we've been testing here.
That's right.
What are the main differences there?
The big one is going to be the fork travel. On the lunch ride, you're going to see that 160 millimeters of travel like we've been talking about. On the non-lunch ride, it's going to be 150. Another difference between the lunch ride and the non-lunch ride is going to be that the lunch ride we have here gets the new Fox Float X shock. More to come on that. And then there's a handful of other differences, mostly weight-related, different brake specs. The lunch ride is going to have more powerful brakes that are maybe a little bit heavier. And then similar with tires, just more aggressive tires that are going to add some weight but add some downhill performance, which I think for the way we use the bike makes sense.
What are your thoughts on the new refinements on Switch Infinity?
Right when you get onto a Yeti, I think you just notice immediately that they're responsive, efficient. You're never sitting down in the travel too much when you're trying to pedal, and it's a really lightweight, crisp feeling when you want it to be, but it's never harsh when you're putting the bike through its paces on the descents, which I think is great.
Playful when you need it to be, but man, when you open these bikes up and get into some tech, it's pretty impressive how stable they are. But put the dropper back up and pedal back to the top. You're not touching the climb switch. They're very efficient. Really stiff frames. They feel good.
Totally. 475 reach on this size large, plenty of space in the cockpit, to use a modern riding style and open it up.
If you're curious about other offerings from Yeti, check out our 140 video from last fall. Also, we did a review on the 160, but Kendall was out with me on the 120.
Yeah, I think we both had a lot of fun riding the trails that day, and which is all that really matters. But I think the bikes definitely shine in different areas. Watching you go through the corners on the little wheels looked like a lot of fun. That being said, the modern geometry with the 29-inch bikes is really great too, and I was keeping up with you just fine. Mm-hmm. I think it's just cornering with the smaller wheels just kind of adds a fun factor. You can get drifty and push the wheels around a little easier. What did you think about the bike's riding characteristics?
It was my first time being on a full 27.5 bike in probably 4 or 5 years. I felt a little bit hesitant in the tech to start, but I really think it shined once I started to get into some corners, onto some jumps in a more playful area of the trail system. And that's where I started to really feel like, okay, cool, I see where it's at. You know, I am a taller rider. I'm 6'2". I really do think that wheel size is also a size-specific thing for different people, and there's an application for it. And I think that this bike does shine in that realm. There's a lot of amazing refinements that Yeti has done to really hone in what this bike is, and I think it's an awesome offering from them.
Yeah, I'm glad you got to get it on the dirt and like really put it through its paces. It's cool to see.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe for more content.
And if you guys have any questions, make sure you reach out to a gearhead about all your questions with compatibility, sizing. Don't hesitate.
You name it. We're here for it. Happy bike season. We're stoked to be talking about bikes again, and we'll see you on the trails.
You.